Hello, hello, hello. What's going on, everybody? I know. The mustache. There's no need to comment on it. It's here for a week. After Halloween, it'll be gone. All right? Oh, shit, we got 150 people here right now? Wait, what time did I schedule it for? I scheduled it for 7:30 EST, so it's not that late. All right, everybody, how we doing? Shit, I'm surprised so many people are interested in watching this fan letter. I was straight up not going to watch it. I was not going to watch this fan letter because I heard that it's not canon, right? It's not canon, but I've heard everybody gushing about it. Listen, this is for... The mustache is purely here for Halloween costume purposes. I was Gomez Adams this weekend, and then there's one more weekend of Halloween party shit, and then after that, the mustache will be gone. It'll be gone. Oh, mustache is not that bad on me? All right, maybe I keep it forever. I'm just kidding. All right. It's good. The fan letter's good. I've only heard good shit about the fan letter. A lot of people are like, oh, this fan letter is better than, like, most other people's anime's best episodes and stuff. All right, Philly. Thanks for being a Pirate King tier member for 10 months. How many gifted memberships for a redacted? I cannot read out what you just said. But I still appreciate the support. Appreciate the support. It's adapting a novel, but the novel is not canon. The novel is not canon. Tom says, was your girlfriend Morticia? Yes. Yeah, that was the plan. I did not come up with Gomez Adams. In fact, you guys want to see what I go as every year? I don't want to get it right. No, I could get it. I could maybe get it real quick. Nah, I'm not going to go get it. I'm not going to get it. What I go as every year, for the last, I want to say since 2018, what I've done for Halloween every year since 2018 almost was... I don't know when I started doing it, but it was a Donkey Kong tie, because I realized that's, I think, objectively the simplest prop you can have where people will know what you are as a Halloween character. So I did a Donkey Kong tie. But then this year I was bullied into doing... I was bullied into doing Gomez Adams to go with Morticia. But I had fun, and I liked how I looked in it. So it was kind of fun, actually. I got pretty into character. Continuing on. Hold on. Bassam El-Madawi says it's unofficial canon and you can't say otherwise. I mean, it's... What does that mean? What is the source? Where's this coming from? Can anybody... I need a clean breakdown of what the actual... I need a clean breakdown of what exactly this means. I need a clean breakdown of what this is. How seriously am I supposed to take it? Is this something Oda wrote? That's my only question. Is it something Oda wrote? Kiara, holy shit, thank you for the 50. Hey, Morj's love stream. Who was actually Roger's rival? Garp, Whitebeard, or Rocks? We've always had these three spoken about the most. Also, this fan letter is basically everything you've been asking for in a One Piece episode. It's loosely canon. Loosely canon. I really want to understand what that means. What does loosely canon mean? First of all, again, thank you for the 50. Holy shit, what a way to kick off stream. Really appreciate that. As usual. As for Roger's rival between Garp, Whitebeard, or Rocks, I feel like rival is... It's almost tricky because we learned that Whitebeard kind of had his come up a little bit after Roger, right? So if we're trying to... So Rocks is almost too antagonistic to be a rival, right? Because I think traditionally in shonen series, when you talk about the archetype of there being a rival, people are referring to someone that's up and coming around the same time as you, where there's almost a frenemy dynamic. Sometimes it can get pretty extreme, like Naruto and Sasuke tried to kill each other many times, but there's still a sort of frenemy dynamic at the end of the day. I feel like Rocks wasn't that. It sounds like Rocks was the king before Roger killed him, or Roger beat him, or whatever the fuck happened, right? Roger dethroned him, right? The king is dead, long live the king. So Roger became the new head honcho, top of the ladder among pirates after Rocks' death. So I wouldn't put Rocks in the rival category, I think it might have been Whitebeard. I think Whitebeard might have been Roger's biggest rival. Maybe it's just because that's what we actually got to see in the canon in chapter, 966, 965, and all of that. It just felt like that was Roger's true equal in the pirate world, and lots of characters refer to Roger and Whitebeard as a duo, right? In Impel Down, they were all talking about Roger and Whitebeard. Those are kind of the two pirates that held the crown. Doflamingo's talking about in his speech Roger and Whitebeard, the two pirates, that kind of led the pirate era, and now there's an empty throne now that they're gone. Roger started the Great Pirate Age with One Piece speech. Whitebeard kicked off the finale, like the bookend of that with his speech. I think it was Whitebeard. Not to say Garp wasn't in that same level of strength, but just because Garp was a Marine, obviously you can have a rival in the Marines, but I just think it's a little different in that they played different roles. The Senate, thanks to the 5. This episode was one of the greatest One Piece episodes of all time. I'm really interested now. I still need to understand what loosely canon means. Also, let's get stream likes up to 100 real quick. Morj sold me Fent, thanks for the 2. There's no mention of law, so you'll love it. Hey, that's not what makes me love or dislike episodes or whatever. I've seen clips of it. Like, I've seen a little bit of the bar discussion. Selwyn10, welcome to the Supernova. Thank you very, very, very much for joining. I appreciate the support. Philly, thanks for the 2. There was out-of-pocket budget ready for peak. So was this just like something they went really hard on? I know Ishitani, I know a lot of great directors are involved in this. Was this something they went really, really hard on just to make up for the fact that One Piece is going to be on break, anime-wise, for the next 6 months? I wonder. All right, let me just see that thing. Heads up, we are going to have... what day is it? Today's the 21st. Yeah, we're having someone joining... we're having a viewer joining stream, one of the purchasers of the bundle. We're having one of them join the stream at some point today, 9 or 8:30 EST. So watch out for that. Hold on a second. Lars Caesar, thanks for being a Pirate King to your member for 7 months. You have to give the stash its time until it's good. Trust me, had one since 2022 for no reason but my own good taste. I'm a One Piece fan, and Fan Letter is the best episode I've seen. Holy shit. Okay, I'm pretty fucking excited now. I'm actually pretty excited to watch this Fan Letter shit. Let's get the stream likes up to 100, because we're all excited. No reason but my own good taste. Okay. Listen, I don't want to be a mustache guy. I don't think I will thrive as a mustache guy. I feel creepy having this mustache. I just do. I feel creepy having this mustache. I understand that maybe if I let it grow out more, it would come into its own more. But at the moment, I don't like the idea of being a mustache guy. I don't think mustaches look good on pretty much anybody. Homs, thanks for the 5. Your last live stream was an absolute banger. I have high expectations for the rest of your live streams now. Hey, thanks. I appreciate it. I don't even remember what the last live stream was. It was covering the chapter, right? Yeah, it was just covering the chapter. It sounds like you're maybe newer to live streams, but I think that they're all like that. So, stick around. Goomba Boomba, thanks for the 2. It's as canon as the Ace novels, Oda approved. Oh, shit. The Ace novels are considered pretty canon by a lot of people. So the Fan Letter is Oda approved. So this shit is actually, it happens, right? That's for real? Can somebody confirm that? Snab, thanks for being a Yonko tier member for 25 months. Not sure if you're interested in my updates from Japan. We are all interested, Snab. Everybody listen up. Snab is giving updates from his life in Japan. He is starting a new life there. A lot of things are going right for him. My family visits me in Japan for a week. They've met my girlfriend, and life is going great. Everybody say, snaps in the chat for Snab. Everybody say congrats, Snab. Good shit. Sounds like things are going well for Snab. And when things are going well for one of us, things are going well for all of us, I guess. I don't know. It's just good to hear good things happening in different people's lives, Pachinti, thanks for your first super ever. I appreciate it. Not related, but I saw your Chainsaw Man video. It's amazing. It's crazy that it's at 100K only. It's at 100K only because it got fucking... The Chainsaw Man video getting age restricted is honestly what killed so much of my passion for the Manga Morj channel. For those of you who don't know, I have a second channel that I launched like a year or so ago or something like that. called Manga Morj to cover other manga, and the debut video was this elaborately made Chainsaw Man video that was in-depth as fuck. It is the best Chainsaw Man analysis out there, because every other Chainsaw Man analysis you see out there is fucking shallow as fuck and doesn't actually cover anything in depth. And pretty much all the comments agree. The majority of the comments that you read on that video are saying that's the best Chainsaw Man analysis they've seen. And most of them are not even viewers from my channel. They've never heard of me before. That is completely new viewers saying, who is this guy? This is the best Chainsaw Man analysis. Now, this might sound like I'm bragging. I am, because I was very, very, very excited with the launch of that video. That is arguably the best analysis video I've ever done. That was a huge passion project, that Chainsaw Man video. It was on track viewership-wise on the first day on a brand new channel, on some ridiculous trajectory, because it was gaining traction really, really, really fast. So I was very excited. It was actually growing faster than any of my videos on my main One Piece channel have ever grown. So it was on trajectory for something that would outstrip the viewership of any of my One Piece videos. So I was very excited for this channel, put in a lot of work into that video, was really happy with the feedback, was really happy to see new people who had never heard about me commenting on that video, was really happy to see the skyrocketing growth, and then it got age restricted. When a video gets, because it had too many, you know how the way Chainsaw Man is, it's a little bit more adult themed. So there's a lot of images that I use in that video that are a bit more adult themed. It got age restricted. Once a video becomes age restricted on YouTube, this was a problem I'd never encountered before, because it doesn't come up in One Piece, because One Piece doesn't have those type of images. Once a video becomes age restricted on YouTube, it no longer shows up organically on people's feeds. It can only be found if someone deliberately searches and looks for that video. So the Chainsaw Man video flatlined. Literally, pretty much, it went from skyrocketing like 50k views in a day or whatever, basically, to sudden flatline, and it started getting like 10, 20 views a day. It was nothing like I'd ever seen in One Piece. It was pretty jarring, and it really, really hurt, because I put in so much time into that video. And it went off to better expectations than I initially even had. And then it just felt like, fuck, like, what are more things that I'm going to have to learn about YouTube? I don't know. It just made me have less passion in doing the next few Manga Morj projects, basically. And then I kind of realized that, to try and put out the Chainsaw Man level quality for that channel consistently while still keeping the One Piece channel at the quality that I want this channel to be at, it was too hard to juggle both. So then I had to kind of put a pause on it. But thank you for the kind words on the Chainsaw Man video. Continuing on. It doesn't have to be canon to be good. I mean, I agree. It's just I'm curious, like, how canon is it? Black Lightning, thanks for the 2. What's that under your nose? This is this is a mustache. It will be gone after Halloween. Don't worry about it. Bassam El Madawi, thanks for the 5. By unofficial canon, I mean I want it to be canon because it fits so well into the story. It reminded me a lot of the film Your Name, actually. Peace. Okay, so it's not canon in any capacity then, including even by the Ace novels capacity. Interesting. Continuing on. Michael Bisley, thanks a lot. Chipping in to say fan letter tops 1015 for me. Oh, shit. I did see some of that on Twitter, but I didn't know if that was sensationalism. 1015 is still the coolest One Piece episode I've ever seen directed. Akash Panda, good to see, man. Thanks for the 5. If you think great direction / animation is worthless unless the material is canon, you shouldn't watch this. Can't wait for Loki to find out Lola's married. Okay, the cynic in me would almost say that, but I don't actually believe that. I think I'll have a lot of fun watching it just as a One Piece fan. Can't wait for Loki to find out Lola's married. What if that's Loki's, like, breaking moment where he just decides to declare war on the world? That's really what... I mean, or maybe that's already what he was... That was already what was the cause for him to try and go to war with the world. JD Legend says, this new Morj hairstyle is giving me life. Hey, good to see you, man. Good to see you. Yeah, I've been growing my hair out longer. Sometimes it's hard to manage, so sometimes it looks really bad, but it's looking okay today. And we've got the mustache, so luckily it'll be gone soon. So won't have to deal with this anymore. But good to see you, Jay. I did see your thumbnail come up across my feed of the One Piece fan letter, man, and it seems like you really enjoyed it. So I do have high expectations for this. I do have high expectations. Morj looks like Vista's little brother. Hey, that's not bad. That's not bad. That would make me the younger brother of the world's strongest swordsman, huh? Or sorry, tied for world's strongest swordsman. Let's be specific here. In terms of direction, it might be better than 1015, but 1015 is more significant. Yeah, I mean, 1015 is going to be canon, so it's just going to matter more. But, as a work of art or, just as a One Piece fan treat, like one of my favorite One Piece... one of my favorite One Piece movies... My favorite One Piece movie is Baron Omatsuri, and that's not a canon One Piece movie. To be fair, I have not seen the majority of One Piece movies. I've seen Stampede. I've seen Film Z. I saw bits and pieces of Strong World. And I've seen bits and pieces of Film Red. But Baron Omatsuri was my favorite. And I think that's one that didn't even have any Oda involvement at all. Mukete says, stop cutting your hair, bro. I do want to grow longer hair. I want to keep this hairstyle, but get it longer and longer. The problem is that my hair is naturally very curly. So it can get kind of too much. It can get kind of frizzy. All right. Where are we at? Lars Caesar, thanks a lot, man. Flatlinings remind me of how wild my cyberpunk playthrough just was. May not be the type of game you're into, though. Story based as fuck, but also most similar game to it is Tears of the Kingdom. I'm not gonna play Cyberpunk just because I don't like games where I have to be using a gun, because I'm just not good at shooters. Because I never played shooters growing up, because all I had was fucking Nintendo games, and not many Nintendo games at that. I don't know what flatlining is, though. Non-sequitur says Morj looking like he has a 250 million bounty. Virgil Hawkins, thanks for being a Pirate King to your member for 25 months. What kind of story and tone do you expect from Usopp and Yasopp's reunion? Do you expect Usopp to hold any resentment? Okay, so I don't want to get too far into what I think a lot of the ideas of Elbaf are, but I personally think that it's an arc that is set to challenge a lot of the ideas of what it means to be a warrior. I mean, I think simply the fact that the arc is kicking off with this proclamation by Loki that this is Elbaf, it's the land of warriors, said to be the origin of warfare or some shit like that. That's what we've always known that Elbaf is about, but it seems to be really hammering it in, right? I personally think that if you go back and track a lot of Usopp's hero worship in terms of his vision of a brave warrior, I think that there is meant to be flaws to how he views it. I think that he idolizes certain things that he strives to be for the wrong reasons. And I think his father, even before Dorian Broggie, his father was his first idol. His father was the first brave warrior that he really put on a pedestal, and he was like, I'm going to idolize this person as the brave warrior of the sea, right? I want to be like my father. His father's a piece of shit. Yasopp fucking sucks. You can say Dragon sucks, but at least Dragon... his family, Dragon does suck, but his family, it's the Monkey D family, so it's kind of like the Monkey Ds are they're a different breed, they're not quite right in the head in the first place, so they kind of don't need, I don't think they need a lot of upbringing or parental, Garp's connection with Luffy was chucking Luffy into a forest to die multiple times, or tying him on a balloon and sending him into the sky, shit like that. If Dragon was around, I don't think that he would be fulfilling a particularly loving parental role in the first place. So, Dragon, just the Garp, I don't count them. They're weird freaks, all right? They're freaks of nature. Usopp's a normal fucking person, right? Usopp's a normal kid. Yasopp just left his kid and his wife to die, literally to die. She died shortly after he left. He abandoned them to die. Never sent letters as far as we know, never planned on coming back, none of that shit, and he was very, very proud of it. He's literally bragging to young Luffy, saying, yeah, I have a wife and kid at home, he knows Usopp, by the way. He's yeah, my kid would be around your age or whatever right now, right? He's I should be there with them or some shit, but the sea was calling me, ha 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 ha, and then that's it, and that's his story. It's just dude, you're a fucking asshole. I don't think that Usopp should idolize someone like Yasopp, personally. I also think that Usopp idolizes Elbaf's culture. If you go back and reread Little Garden, there's aspects to why Usopp idolizes Elbaf's culture that seem flawed in retrospect. So I do think that that's going to be a big part of the arc, breaking down okay, Usopp idolizes Yasop for the right reasons, yes or no? I don't know. I think that there's going to be some resentment that comes pouring out there. And that's going to affect Usopp's concept of, like, why is he trying to be a brave warrior of the sea, right? Because here's the big thing, right? Here's the big thing with Usopp, okay? Big thing with Usopp. Usopp already is a brave warrior of the sea. I think everyone can acknowledge that. Usopp already is a brave warrior of the sea. By real world standards, the moment that, like, if Usopp was like a guy and he went out and he killed this fish monster single-handed with like a slingshot and a bottle of booze, that like a fish monster that's 20 times stronger than any human that can level forests with like water blasts and stuff like that, and Usopp as just a dude shows up, challenges him to a fight, takes him on, beats him with just a slingshot, bottle of booze, right? I think everyone would be like, holy shit, that guy's a brave warrior. Usopp goes on to do so much more shit, right? He takes out the Mr. 4 duo with Chopper. Declares war on the entire world government, like sails across the seas to do that. Takes out a shit ton of Marines to save Robin, the world's most wanted criminal, right? Defeats Perona, one of the strongest pirates in the Grand Line that Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, the rest of the crew could not handle at that point in time, single-handed, right? And he takes that mission on by himself. He defeats Perona by himself. Dressrosa, Usopp fucking saves the entire kingdom, right? He runs back to save the Tontadas, saves the entire kingdom, and then snipes Sugar from far away to boot, right? And at the end of it, they literally make a statue out of him. He has a statue. He's a legend. He's literally considered a legendary hero for the entire nation of Dressrosa. He is a brave warrior of the sea. Usopp is a brave warrior of the sea. He's way braver than many characters we've already met. He would be, like, if you told Usopp back in East Blue all of the feats that the real Usopp has now done, right? Usopp would be like, holy shit, that guy sounds like a brave warrior of the sea. Objectively, Usopp's completed his dream. I would argue he's the first to have completed his dream. He completed his dream back in Arlong Park, in my opinion. If you reread the Chu fight, you'd be like, yeah, that dude's brave. You would probably be like, yeah, that dude's braver than you, right? He's braver than you or me. I think anyone would read the Chu fight and be like, yeah, that guy's braver than any of us. He's braver than any human that I know, right? Because he could have gotten away with not fighting the Chu fight. Because Chu left him. Chu was like, all right, I beat this guy, I'm done. Walking away. Usopp did not have to get up and challenge him to like a life and death duel after that. Because Usopp has below average physical strength, even by normal human standards. He just has a slingshot and just random shit in his pocket like rubber bands and like hot sauce pills and stuff like that, right? But he challenged this fucking fishman monster to a fight. None of us are doing that for no reason, right? I'm not doing that. None of you guys in chat are certainly doing that. Usopp's a brave warrior. So again, Usopp, brave warrior of the sea, many times over already. So the real question is, why does Usopp not think he's a brave warrior of the sea yet? Is it because he's actually not a brave warrior of the sea? Or is his concept of what he needs to do or needs to be like to be a brave warrior skewed? I think it's option B. Personally. Luke D. Fernando, thanks for the 2. How many God's Knights are stronger than Aokiji? In my opinion, maybe, I think the leader for sure, and then maybe one other one at best, I think. Because I feel like the God's Knights, just because it's so many of them, right? It's like a whole, it's a similar amount, it looks like. It's like 9 or 10. So it seems like a similar amount to Yonko crew. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's meant to be comparable in strength, right? They're going after revolutionaries. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's supposed to be similar in strength to like a Yonko crew or like the revolutionary officers or something like that, just because the structure seems similar. It seems to parallel the same size of factions that we kind of see. So I would honestly just guess the leader is above admiral level and then nobody else really. But maybe we get a surprise, maybe another person in there is stronger. Who knows? K Maya, thanks for the 5. Fan Letter is based on a One Piece novel, Straw Hat Stories. Everyone listen up. If you're confused as to what we're doing here today, it's being broken down for us right now. Based on One Piece novel, Straw Hat Stories, mostly Nami's and Luffy's, but with nods to some of the others. Can't wait for you to see this. Okay, so who wrote the One Piece novel? Who wrote this One Piece novel, Straw Hat Stories? Mostly Nami's and Luffy's. The Senate, thanks for the 5. This episode made me emotional. Everything beautiful about One Piece is here. Even if it isn't technically canon, it easily could be. I love One Piece. Damn, man. Okay, I'm interested. So you're telling me it's a One Piece novel, right? So it's the same level of canon that the Ace novel is? Somebody mentioned that earlier. Also, let's get the stream likes to 200 real quick. Luke D. Fernando, thanks for the 2. No, we covered this. What else am I missing? Am I covering everything? I think I'm caught up here. Eyes96, thanks for the 5. This episode gets gassed, and rightfully so. You can feel the emotion, creativity, and especially passion behind it, something all One Piece fans can enjoy. Yeah, again, Baron no Matsuri, my favorite One Piece movie. And that also had a bit more of an experimental art style compared to what we usually see of One Piece, and I love that. So, yeah. I'm definitely excited for it because I've seen little clips and bits of it with, glimpses of what the animation style is like. I think it's going to be really, really cool. Souse, thanks for the 2. Low key, keep the look, gang. Best you've looked. All right, enough of that. I'm not going to be a mustache guy. Leave me alone. I'm not keeping the mustache. Get out of here. New X7 says, don't compare Dragon to that bum. Yeah, up. Dragon Universe says, Morj, bro, don't ruin this reaction by making it flip 300 times, inverted and muted. Too bad. That's the way it's going to be. I've been lied to too many times by chats by people saying, Morj, you should do this or that thing with the, it'll be okay. No one's going to copyright strike you. And every single time without fail that I've listened to chat about what will or won't copyright strike me, I've been fucking copyright struck. So, that's not happening. All right? AIM PDX's author's Oda? What? What? Oda did the art? And then Usaki and Tomohito did the story? Oda did the art for this? There's no way. There's no way. What the fuck? What the fuck? There's no way. That's not Morj, that's Count Olaf. TomTom says, Morj, why don't you ask your friends like Barago and King of Lightning how they do reaction streams without getting striked? That's true. Jay, are you still in the chat? Let's ask Jay right now. If Jay's still in the chat, please let us know. How do you guys do these without getting copyright struck? Akash Bandit, thanks for the 2. You know Oda did not write the Ace novels, right? I know he didn't write them, but from what my understanding was that it was it's like the Vivre card territory, where some other people write them, and then Oda just gives his stamp of approval, right? So is this One Piece fan letter in that same category, wherein it wasn't written by Oda, but he gave his stamp of approval? If it's the same as that, then I consider it basically canon. I consider it pseudo-canon. How to explain? I consider the Vivre cards and the novels to be pseudo-canon in the sense that it's yeah, I believe that these happened, kind of, unless anything in the manga feels like it contradicts it. Because, shit happens. The Vivre cards and the Ace novels, they contradict each other. The Vivre cards and the novels, they contradict each other, right? So, for example, Vivre cards don't list Ace as having, armament haki. The novels reveal that he do. There's random shit, the novels suggest that, or the Vivre cards didn't include Nekomamushi having armament haki, but they said Inuarashi did. I always get the sense from the Vivre cards that there's a bit of sloppiness to them, and they tend to leave things out, and some things that they write are somewhat contradictory. So I put them in the pseudo-canon category, wherein that it's not actually written by Oda, is my understanding. He's just signing off on them amidst the other million other things that he has to do. So because he's just signing off on them, I'm just if anything feels like it doesn't make sense to the manga or whatever, then I don't really count it among Vivre cards, See, Kurokami Nijima says Ace novel and Vivre cards are bullshit. Yeah, I mean, that was my view for a while, and then I kind of realized that the entire community really pushes Vivre cards and, the novels to be canon. So, I'm well, I don't want to be this dude that's just arguing against, you kind of go with the flow to some degree. So I have my own definition, which is just basically, I counted them as loosely canon, right? So if this is the same as an Ace novel, this fan letter, if it's the same as an Ace novel, I'm counting it as loosely canon. Oscar Cruz, thanks for being a part King to remember for 22 months. Sit back and enjoy. This is just a fun time. All right. We're going to do at 8:30 EST, we're going to have a viewer on, and then after that, we're going to get into the episode. Mohamed Sadeki, thanks for the 2. Great Merry cosplay here, Morj. Like the stream. That's not what this is, but thanks. I appreciate it. This is Vivre card Ace novel territory as well. All right, then I count it as loosely canon. This is something I'm interested in watching, for sure. Something I'm interested in watching, for sure. For sure. Gold Burrito, thanks for the 2. Will Usopp be the one who makes Loki an ally? Oh, thanks for your first super ever, by the way. Will Usopp be the one who makes Loki an ally? I don't know. I don't know if Loki's supposed to be an ally or not. I really don't. I've seen some people argue that Usopp's going to beat Loki. Again, my argument is that if Usopp beats Loki, from everything that we've seen framing-wise of Loki, then Usopp doesn't need to do jack shit for the rest of the story. He's already done above and beyond. You know what I mean? Like, it's possible that, like, from how strong people seem to think Loki's going to be, if Usopp beats Loki, I said this last stream, there's no point in Usopp fighting Van Augur. I will have zero interest. I'll be like, it would be like, it would be like seeing Usopp defeat, I don't know, Lucci, and then his next fight is against like Kabaji or something like that. You know, it's just all the hype would be gone. So I don't know about Usopp defeating Loki, but I wouldn't be surprised if Usopp plays some sort of significant role. It's the biggest thing is like we don't know yet. Last stream I went through a few options, right? One, is Loki good or bad, right? Is he going to be good but bad guy? Then if he is a bad guy, is he going to be like the main villain of the arc or a secondary villain of the arc? Okay, if he's a secondary villain, then who's going to beat him? Is it going to be some people say Zoro, obviously. Is it going to be Usopp, like some people say? Is it going to be Kid? Is it going to be Shanks? Like, there's so many options, right? So I think at the moment we just gotta give it a moment, let Loki breathe. I think he's the most exciting he's gonna be right now, where he's a blank slate, open book, anything can happen. The possibilities are endless with this character. We just know he's hype and that he's a infusion of mystery and excitement into the beginning stages of Elbaf, which I think was sorely needed after the Lego set section. Not that I enjoyed the Lego set section, obviously because that's fun for the Strahd dynamics and everything like that, and I enjoyed reading those chapters just to get to feel the East Blue group interact again in the way that they used to. But the actual, like hype of the arc that started with last chapter 1130. Ramen Stains, thanks for the 5. Hey, Morj, I just want to say the remaster is genius because it allows them to essentially be a seasonal show without having to rebid for their TV spot. Oh, is that how it's going to work? Like, don't they need... So is the remaster going to be coming on weekly, I suppose? But then the other one, it's going to take breaks or something as they readapt. Like, is Egghead going to be... Are we going to get a season of Egghead and then a gap and then a season of Elbaf and then a gap? Andrew Anderson, thanks for the 10. Crazy theory, maybe Roto's a hidden prince. Gerd's confused why he's in the crew. He's given the same shame title as Loki, fits the silhouette better, and Lola rejecting him for being a loser makes sense. But we were told... Okay, so thanks, Andrew Anderson. Thank you for the 10. I think we were told specifically that it was Prince Loki, unless I'm confused, that was rejected, right? It also doesn't sound like Roto is treated as a prince the same way that Loki is, but I might be wrong. That would be interesting. I wonder if there's 3 brothers then. Lars Caesar, thanks a lot. Fan letter is more canon than the One Piece anime. Well, definitely more canon than the One Piece anime filler. Like, the anime filler is just not canon whatsoever. TomTom, welcome to the Yonko. Thank you for joining. And by the way, TomTom messaged me something very, very interesting on Twitter, which I can hype up a little bit. TomTom, you want me to tell him? Is it okay if I tell him? It's nothing crazy, and then if you don't go through with it, I don't think anyone will care. Firelaw, thanks for the 5. One Piece Fan Letter was the first novel in the One Piece novel series, including the Ace novel, all approved by Oda. Oh, this was the first novel that was approved. So this was number 1. This came before the Ace novels. Okay, that's really good to know. I have a lot more interest in it now. Like, this is legit in my opinion. Let me at least start pulling it up. TomTom says, yeah, go ahead. Okay, so what TomTom's doing is basically he's creating a website, or at least a resource, wherein if you want to go and read all of a One Piece fight uninterrupted, so let's say you want to read Zoro versus King again, right? Or Luffy versus Kaido again, right? You can go to his site, select the arc, select the fight, and then you will have all of the pages of the fight ready to go in a row that you can scroll through in order. And I know a lot of people have done this sort of thing for certain arcs. Like, I think I've seen Reddit posts where the Wano fights have been compiled, and then it's easy to browse through them and find the moments you're looking for. Or if not find the moments you're looking for, if you just want to read the whole fight from start to finish, you can do that. But a lot of arcs don't have that treatment. So if you want to see the Dressrosa fights again, if you want to see the Enies Lobby fights again, Skypiea, whatever's going to come in, Elbaf, Luffy versus Katakuri. He's creating a site where basically it's just a resource. You can scroll, find, select, watch whatever you want to watch. So, or not watch, but read and binge whatever you want to binge. So I think that'll be something really, really fun for One Piece fans. I know for my purposes, it's going to be really, really helpful because we have an image finder for the channel, and lots of times finding certain images or panels can be difficult if, it can be difficult if, you got to sift through a lot of dialogue or something like that. But yeah, thanks, TomTom. Let me make sure I'm doing the right thing here. Hold on a second. All right. All right. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a viewer on quickly. And then for those of you who don't know, we have obviously the bundles, right? The poster bundles, the travel poster bundles that, you can see obviously Onigashima in the background, but we got a shit ton more bundles. The bundles come out every month, obviously. And with the purchase of every bundle, if you want the posters, if you like the artwork, if you want them for your walls, with the purchase of every bundle, you get all sorts of other perks, including you get to join me on stream whenever you want in a given month for a short segment to get off your thoughts, any theories, ideas that you have. And yeah, so we're going to knock one of those out today. And then right after that, we're going to be kicking off the actual viewing. I skipped 2 supers. Hold on. Give me a second here. The fuck? What did I just do? What did I just do? There we go. Yeah, 1 second here. Remix King, where you at? Remix King? Remix King says Sogeking fought at Enies Lobby, not Usopp. That's true. That's my bad. It was not, in fact, Usopp. It was Sogeking. Oh shit! I'm sorry about this. REE. Thank you for joining the Pirate King tier. I'm sorry. Big shout out to you. Seriously, thank you very, very much for joining Pirate King tier. Yeah, really appreciate the support, and watch out for the Pirate King tier podcast that'll be coming out by the end of this month, where you'll get to get your submissions in, all of that, get your questions in, and I'll answer it in depth over the course of an hour-and-a-half long podcast. So thank you very, very much for the support. I'm sorry I missed the shout out for you. I'm sorry about that, Ben. And I missed Party McFly. You said, where's Party McFly at? Who says, what's the doggo's name? There's actually 2 doggos. One is Harley, one is Casey. They are a pain to track down and pick up. Otherwise, I would bring them right over here so you guys could see. Party McFly, thanks for the 5. Been working on a theory on the other Blackbeard Pirates getting second Devil Fruits. Would make them bigger threats and explain why Oda gave them such simple Devil Fruits. Thoughts? So, I think ever since Shiryu got a shitty fruit, which is the invisibility fruit, and let's make it very clear, the invisibility fruit is a shitty fruit in that it was once held by a character that Sanji low diffed pre-time skip, right? That's the level of threat that the invisibility fruit carries, all right? So the fact that Zoro's potentially final opponent, or at the very least one of his final opponents, has the invisibility fruit is downright embarrassing. At least with Shiryu, there's the possibility that he has a sword, he has a weapon, so maybe his weapon could eat a second Devil Fruit. But maybe the awakened version of the invisibility fruit is something special. Who knows? Who fucking knows? Now, that being said, all of the Blackbeard Pirates eating second Devil Fruits, I don't think makes that much sense, because one thing that was established for the Blackbeard Pirates is, like Van Augur outright says it, they are still training with their fruits. So they're still getting stronger with their fruits as we speak, right? They're still getting strong with the fruits as we speak. Goku says, not true, Morj. It has potential. I'm sure it has potential, like, hypothetically. Again, maybe an awakened version. It could be something special. We don't know yet. if it could turn into a fruit where there's no method of tracking it with observation haki or sensing it whatsoever, like it truly allows you to disappear, that's a dangerous fruit. But as it is right now, that's not what it appears to be. Ramen Stains, thanks for the 5. How goated would an Ishitani adaptation of Pokemon Adventures be? I mean, Pokemon Adventures, as we all know, phenomenal piece of literature. So, you know, an Ishitani version of it would just be... it would be truly an excellent use of Ishitani's efforts, I'm sure. Mohamed Sadeghi, thanks to 2. He also won against Perona 2v1 with Sogeking's help. True, with Sogeking's help. I should stop leaving out Sogeking from all of this discussion. The Northman, thanks a lot. What's your thoughts on Loki having Conqueror's Haki? Oh, I think Loki for sure has Conqueror's Haki. As soon as, like, the fact that Luffy sensed his presence like that, like, keep in mind, like, lots of random bums in One Piece have Conqueror's Haki, okay? I think it was established like Ulti has Conqueror's Haki or something like that. I might be wrong, but a lot of random bums in One Piece have Conqueror's Haki. I might be wrong about Ulti, I forget. But Loki definitely screams Conqueror's Haki. I don't think Oda would write a character with that much, you know, aura if he doesn't have the fitting aura to match it, you know? The effort put into the presentation of him, you know, the presence that he had on the island. You could argue, well, like, Kizaru had a presence, and he didn't end up having Conqueror's Haki, or he doesn't have Conqueror's Haki. But Kizaru's presence was felt once Kizaru got really fucking close. Like, he was literally attacking Luffy and the Straw Hat, or, like, coming up at Luffy and the Straw Hats when Luffy sensed him, right? Loki's different. Loki's just on the island somewhere, and Luffy senses his presence and says that it gives him chills or goosebumps or whatever you want to say, right? Kai says, oh no, he turned his sword invisible. I'm just going to say, if Zoro struggles with Shiryu, at least the Shiryu that we've seen right now, because of Shiryu being invisible and being hard to see, if Zoro struggles because of that, all right, the Huff against Lucci will no longer be Zoro's most embarrassing showing, all right? Zoro fans will dream of the days of Huff. They'll be like, man, we wish we could go back to when Zoro was going, I don't know, medium difficulty, inhaler needed, you know, blow for blow with Lucci. We wish we could go back to those days. That will be the narrative, all right? Because this is just the Shiryu that we're seeing today. He needs some other shit up his sleeve. If it's literally just, oh, this is a shitty swordsman, but he's invisible, aka the same level of inconvenience that Absalom posed to Sanji back in Thriller Bark, and then Zoro actually has difficulty with that, that would be really bad. So either the Awakened version needs to be something special, like can't be sensed with observation haki, something. Like, give me something special with it, right? Some new abilities. It can't be the Shiryu that we see today. And it can't just be invisibility. It's got to be something more than that. Or Shiryu gets a second fruit because his sword eats a fruit or something. For the rest of the Blackbeard Pirates, I don't think they're going to get second fruits because I think the fruits that they have right now perfectly fit them as characters. Like, Burgess has the strength fruit, right? Van Auger teleportation, very dangerous for a sniper. Doc Q, something disease related, right? Sanhorn Wolf, size, they all have good fruits. Like, the problem isn't that they don't have good fruits. I think Shiryu's the only one that has an unfortunate fruit. And it makes me question Shiryu's intelligence because he, like, I'm sure Blackbeard didn't fucking force feed him the invisibility fruit. I'm sure he wasn't like, Blackbeard was like, the invisibility fruit. Shiryu, you have to eat this one. And then, like, they all held Shiryu down while they force fed him the fruit. I'm sure there's some sort of volunteer system or logic going to this. Like, they got the strength fruit, and they're like, okay, who's going to eat the strength fruit? And Burgess was like, pardon me, but this seems like it might be up my alley. And they were like, all right, here, Burgess have it, right? We're not going to fucking feed this to Lafitte, right? The sickness fruit, right? When the disease fruit, right? Like, oh, well, who's going to eat this one? Fucking Evala Pizarro? No, we probably give this shit to the fucking doctor, right? Shiryu, like, I'm sure the Blackbeard Pirates are getting some sort of a say, or there's some degree of logic from Blackbeard's own decision-making as to who's supposed to get this fruit, right? So if Shiryu was straight up, like, it must have been the first fruit that they got or something like that for Shiryu to be like, that's the one I want, the invisibility fruit, right? That's it. I want that, right? Were they seriously just like, all right, we got our first fruit, we farmed our first devil fruit, it turns you invisible, all right? Maybe we give this to, like, I don't know, some random fodder. I don't know if this is, like, top tier, like, main officer level fruit. But was Shiryu just like, no. I want that one. That's the one I want. Give me the invisibility fruit. And it's like, are you sure? The character that had this was like Absalom. Like, this is not a strong guy. And he was like, no, I want it. Where they're like, well, do you want to wait for like a Logi or something, like something more interesting, or maybe like a mythical Zoan? And he's like, no, 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 no. I want to be invisible. And then they were like, well, are you sure? Because some characters have like observation hockey. Like literally every relevant character in the world has observation hockey, and that could be a problem for an invisibility fruit because it basically renders it completely fucking useless. And then was he still like, I want, like, what was the process? I don't know. I'm getting upset just thinking about this. Why does Shiryu have a fucking invisibility fruit? All right, enough about this. Enough about that. I'm upsetting myself just thinking about it. Kiara, god damn it. All right, the next one's about the invisibility fruit also. Okay, Kiara, thanks for the 5. Adding to the invisibility fruit. In the anime, when he stabbed Garp because he used Haki, the sword was invisible. I don't think a sword not being visible should be that much of an inconvenience to top tier fighters, in my opinion. But I do think that's. I remember that in the anime. That was funny. That was a point of something that was pointed out. All right, so we're gonna give it a couple minutes. And thank you for the 5, by the way. I'm gonna give it a couple minutes. No more about the invisibility fruit. I'm gonna give it a couple minutes, and then if our guest does not arrive, then I will have to. Then we're gonna move on. We're just gonna start the episode. All right. Continuing on. I think we're good here. Hold on. Okay. Naranjan Pundit, thanks a lot. What could the relationship between Loki and Shanks be? Good to see you, man. As for the relationship between Loki and Shanks, I don't know if there is one. I don't know if Loki and Shanks, like, how do I say this? I'm curious because it doesn't sound like Shanks was part of the force that had to be used to take down Loki. But I'm sure Shanks sensed Loki on the island as he sensed Luffy, or as Luffy sensed him. That is a really good question. I imagine they wouldn't be on good terms. Oh, okay. Our guest has entered the waiting room. All right. Here, let me just make sure everything's good. Give me a second here. Give me 1 second. But yeah, I don't know if there's an established relationship between them. I wonder if I feel like it would be antagonistic if there was one. Make sure everything's good here. Let me turn on desktop audio. All right. You guys can see okay, right? I wonder. Hold on. Hello? Hey, give me 1 second, man. Thank you for joining. All right, let me set this to this.
By the way, sorry, it sent out multiple emails with different links to the Zoom meeting, and I was in one of those. So I was waiting, though. My bad.
Hey, man, you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
All right, I can hear you.
Yeah.
All right. Let's just make sure. I think let me check out what your audio's looking like. You mind saying something real quick?
Okay.
All right.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I'm gonna lower your audio just a little bit to match mine. Say something else, please.
How's it now?
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Okay, so first of all, what should I call you, just for the purposes of the people in stream?
Obed.
All right, Obed. Thank you very, very much for joining. Thanks for the support, obviously. And yeah, first of all, everybody shouts in the chat to Obed. People are saying Troy and Obed in the morning. I don't know if you've ever seen the show Community, but
no, I have not.
It's a funny reference. Everybody shouts in the chat for Obed. It is brave to get on stream with like 700 people watching and just be willing to get out there and share your thoughts. But yeah, thanks a lot. So the floor is yours, man. What do you feel like talking about, or what do you kind of want to bounce off me?
Yeah, well, I have a lot of theories, but one that is a big one is basically my theory is that the One Piece is the name of the ancient kingdom, and what we're gonna find there is like the technology and stuff when we get to the Laugh Tale. I don't have a ton of evidence for this. I
Mm.
think the main thing that just like pointed me in that direction was in the chapter where Roger laughed. The narrator described the One Piece as vast, which maybe there may be like a translation error, but I'm confident that
Hmm.
was it.
Okay.
And I was thinking like, well, the ancient kingdom's vast and it's around the same time, so I wonder if yeah, and that's when I put the connection together. And then there's also like other small things, such as in like chapter 1025. This wasn't something confirmed about the One Piece, but like Dragon said, whoever gained the One Pieces will gain control of the three ancient weapons. And I thought, well, if it's the ancient kingdom, that would make total sense. I mean, that's not confirmed to be the case with the One Piece, but just thematically, that would make sense.
So are you saying? Sorry, I was messing with your volume a little bit, but I think you should be good now. So you're saying that you feel like the three ancient weapons are the One Piece itself?
Uh, not quite. The One Piece is the ancient kingdom itself.
Oh, you think the ancient
Mostly,
kingdom itself is the One Piece?
yes, and
Okay.
its name is the One Piece. Is One Piece.
Oh, so you're saying like what's the name of the ancient kingdom? Because like if you
Yes,
go back to like Clover's discussion back in Ohara, it was like the name of that kingdom is, and then it was cut
yeah,
out.
one. Yeah, I was gonna say One Piece.
Ah, interesting.
So
Okay, so
yeah.
then do you have any thoughts as to like because what Vegapunk is saying that is that like anybody who finds the One Piece, they're gonna decide the fate of the world. So do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, I feel like that would just make sense because the way it would work is that no one from the ancient kingdom is still alive today. So whoever finds the ancient kingdom will gain control of its technology and can like create ancient weapons or stuff like that.
Like the Mother Flame technology might be buried with
Yeah,
it and everything along those lines.
yeah, that's
Interesting.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel like. So, do you feel like at this point, then, the Ancient Kingdom, if you had a guess, right, where do you think the One Piece would be? Because my thoughts are either it's buried somewhere at the bottom of the sea, right,
Uh-huh.
or it's somewhere on the moon. It has to be somewhere that it can't be accessible, in my opinion, just by like random characters flying around or traveling to it. So, or it's on the ocean itself, and then there's some sort of like supernatural barrier to get to it unless you've connected the four road poneglyphs or the four road poneglyphs would reveal some sort of secret avenue to getting there. So how do you feel like they would find the One Piece, or why has it been so difficult to find if it is a kingdom?
Okay. My personal guess is that it's stuck underneath the sea,
Mm.
and my main reason for that is in the flashback with like Joy Boy talking to Emmett, we could see the ocean, which
Mm.
is kind of weird at that time because it's supposed to be like a giant continent. So seeing the ocean at that time should be kind of weird or out of the ordinary, unless the event that sunk the world in 200 meters already happened at that time.
That's a
And
good
so
point. Yeah,
the way
sorry.
I'm thinking about it is that uh, the world government couldn't defeat the ancient kingdom one on one, and therefore concoct a plan to gain the ancient weapon and use it on the ancient kingdom, flooding it, which is why you can see the ocean there. And it's also why Joy Boy's talking about his death. There's a creation of a poneglyph because they've already lost the war. And so they're making preparations. And just the reason why that's relevant is we know where they used the weapon, and that's at Ennis Lobby. And so my personal guess is that the One Piece is underneath Ennis Lobby, which is a bit of a stretch, but I mean, it could be almost anywhere under the ocean.
No, that's
Uh,
interesting. I mean, I that was a really good point you just raised about the fact that they see the ocean even in the Joy Boy flashback when the ocean should be more of a rarity back during that period of time, especially if they're, like so maybe this took place after the flooding, like you're saying. Because
yeah,
why is Joy Boy creating this knot that Emid can use 200 years in the future? Maybe this whole thing has already happened.
yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. I mean, so along those lines, I want to ask because I always ask everybody that comes on here: do you have a social that you want to shout out? Like, do you want to shout out Twitter or YouTube or anything like that? If you create content or anything that other people can
No,
reach you.
no, I don't really. I thought about making One Piece content, but I just feel like starting a YouTube channel or something is just be a little too demanding for me.
It does
So
after a little bit. It's a fun as a hobby to begin with, though, so I'm never gonna
yeah,
discourage
it
people
is.
from doing that. But yeah, man, just because I think we started your time slot a little bit late, so I am sorry about that. I
Yeah.
just assumed technical errors or whatever, basically.
Well,
But
what happened is that multiple emails were sent with the Zoom link. So I clicked on one
oh,
of the other ones. So I was in a Zoom meeting. It just wasn't in this Zoom meeting.
shoot, I'm sorry, man. That's a
Uh,
technical error on our end. Then I'm sorry about that. Do you have
that's
any final thoughts that you want to get off then to close out your 10-minute segment?
Uh, well, okay, this is just like a small thing.
Yeah.
Well, it's very much out there, but I just uh basically with the Wano and such, and I feel like the next arc or one of the next arcs, there's gonna be like a giant battle at Wano with like this is really out there, but it's gonna be like all four emperors, world governments, revolutionaries, all of that, Marines and such at Wano. And one of my main reasons for this is at the end of Wano, Sukiyaki stated that when the borders get stripped down and Pluton's uncovered, the all of world will break loose. And so that's
Interesting. So you
yeah,
think Wano could turn into a huge battlefield at that point?
yeah, and
Interesting.
basically the reason how I could say that is, or well, how that's going to happen is that with Caribou breaking the news of Pluton's location to Blackbeard, uh, my personal guess is since Big News Morgans is around, he's going to get that hand of that. Then he's going to share it to the world, and then everyone's going to be going to Wano. But
Interesting.
it's
Because we are getting a cover story in Wano right now, and Pluton's still
yeah,
there. And then Big Mom, even in her final words, said that like something related to One Piece might be in Wano. So, yeah, that's an interesting possibility, man.
yeah.
All right, thanks a lot, Obed. Yeah, you definitely shared some interesting thoughts. Some people in chat were saying you're cooking, so a lot of people are on board. And yeah, shouts again, everybody in the chat for Obed hopping on. And I'm sorry about the initial issue, man. I'll just make sure for things going forward that whoever's joining in gets the right link.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry about that. That's the bad, our bad on our end. But yeah, thanks a lot. And yeah, thanks for the support, man. Seriously, thanks a lot for the support. Any last thing you want to shout out?
Um, no, not really, but thank you so much. It's been a pleasure coming on here. I've been a viewer for a decently long time. So yeah, it's just great talking with you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I hope you had a good time.
Yeah,
And
we did.
yeah, thank you for sharing your thoughts and thanks for the long time support. Seriously, I appreciate
All
it.
right. Thank you.
Have a
Bye.
great day, man. I hope you enjoy watching the rest of the stream. Maybe stick around for the fan letter section or whatever. But yeah,
I will.
thank
We'll
you.
see ya.
Appreciate it. Bye.
Bye.
All right, everybody shouts for Obed. That was interesting. I didn't really ever think about the One Piece actually being like the name of the ancient kingdom or anything like that. So shouts for Obed. Obed, if you're still in chat, thanks for tuning in. You pulled you pretty smooth and articulate and everything like that. I know some people get nervous, but I don't think you did. If anybody else wants to be able to join in on live stream segments, that comes with the travel poster bundle purchases. You get access to being allowed to join in on a live stream segment, and you can pretty much schedule it for whenever you want in the given month. The links are, it's pinned at the top of the chat section if you're interested in doing that at some point in time. But yeah. All right, let me catch up on these final supers, this final batch of supers, and then we're going to start the reaction. 1 second real quick. All right. JWP, always good to see you, man. Thank you for the 10. Sure, you could have gotten Morj's fruit, LMAO. Also, it's mind-blowing how Oda outdid himself with the design of Elbaf and Loki, especially Loki, top 5 introductions to a character in the story. Yeah, I think Loki has... It's tricky because One Piece has so many phenomenal character introductions. I think that the initial artwork for Loki's opening panel, like his opening spread, might be the best one in One Piece so far. I think overall, I think Kaido still probably takes the cake for best character introduction with the whole scene direction behind it. Rayleigh's low-key my favorite, just because the impact it had on me at that point in time, like finding out that the Pirate King's right hand is like a thing that we could, like a person that we could be meeting. But Loki's is definitely up there. I definitely think top 5 character introductions. And I think like outdoing himself with the design of Elbaf and Loki. Yeah, the biggest thing that stood out to me about last chapter was that it was just back to back. Like Loki's reveal and then Elbaf's reveal, and both are just phenomenal. Because if Loki's one of the best character introductions we've ever had, Elbaf is low-key the coolest island design that we've ever had. I think I'd go so far as to say this. All right, tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong, people. Tell me if I'm wrong. Ping Poyo is asking when we play the episode. In the next couple minutes, promise. Let me just get through these supers. I think that if Elbaf was not based on Norse mythology, so if it wasn't already Oda drawing from something that previously exists, I think that Elbaf's straight up design, like imagine it was purely original, I think that would maybe be the coolest island that we've ever had in One Piece. Right? Like it's up there. To me, I think it was genuinely beautiful. Egghead is up there. Skypiea is still my favorite. Skypiea is really cool. It's just that, how do I say this? I feel like, yeah, Skypiea is really cool. I think I had Enies Lobby actually. No, I think Enies Lobby is probably still my favorite island design straight up. Because when you get there, it really seems like the end of the world, like the end of all things. Just the way the whole visual looks with the giant hole in the ocean, the waterfall, like the great abyss, and then the giant, like, symbol. Like, it almost seems like a gate, a symbol that, I mean, it is a gate, but just a gate that seems to stretch across the edge of the planet, you know? I think now that we know what Enies Lobby actually is and kind of the mechanics behind the whole thing, it's lost some of its fantasy and wonder. But during the arc itself, just the visuals in Enies Lobby are beautiful. Yeah, I'd say Water 7 is up there as well. I think Elbaf is really, really high up, though. All right. Continuing on. Nerve MV Maker, thanks for the 10. Given that Egghead had six top tiers, and Luffy fought all of them with only Zoro getting a fight with Lucci, there's no reason to think Luffy won't fight Loki in addition to another big bad. I think Egghead was also, like, a non-traditional arc, though, in that Luffy, like, he skirmished with all of the top tiers there, right? The only one that was a full fight from start to finish was with Kizaru. And then beyond that, it was, like, him having skirmishes with the rest of the top tiers, right? Because, like, by that logic, Zoro got a fight with Venus Juro. It was just a skirmish, you know? It was happening kind of off-panel for a little bit of time, right? So what I mean is more so, like, who's Luffy going to defeat? Loki seems, like, at the end of the day, Luffy's only real fight in Egghead from start to finish, like, traditional One Piece fight where you get an extended series of chapters of this battle, and it plays out, and there's a victor at the end, right? That was just Luffy and Kizaru. And you got Luffy versus Lucci earlier as well, obviously. But I think Loki is too significant to be just a mini-boss for Luffy. So either he's the final opponent of Luffy. I think it's entirely possible Luffy could skirmish with him to establish... like, if Luffy's not supposed to defeat him at the end of the arc, I could imagine Luffy skirmishing with him to establish Loki's strength, right? But in terms of, like, is Luffy going to straight up defeat this character or not? I think that would be dependent on if Loki is set to be the final boss of the arc or just a secondary antagonist. If he's a secondary antagonist, I don't think Luffy will be the one to permanently put him down. Personally. Bassam El Madawi, thanks for the 5. I disagree. I think Joyba was the king of the Ancient Kingdom, and he saved his treasure of his people by sending them to the future via Lady Toki. Shit. Hold on, everybody. Everybody calm the fuck down. Everybody calm down. Calm down. Okay. Everybody calm down. Is everybody calm? Because Bassam just dropped a huge little theory, a huge point right here that could potentially be the case, all right? Which is that the One Piece might not even be a thing that you can fucking find today. What if it's something that was sent to the future by Toki? I personally have not thought about that before. Isn't that fucking... Because that would explain why nobody's been able to find it so far. Because people have probably fucking sailed across that point in terms of the coordinates of the road poneglyph. But if it's yet to arrive through time, that's a whole different scenario. That's very interesting if it's yet to arrive. And that might be why Roger laughed, and he was like, you know, we were too early. We literally can't get the One Piece. We cannot do this even if we wanted to. Interesting. JWP, thanks for the 2. Also, Morjman, did you read Hunter x Hunter 403? I read the last 2 Hunter x Hunter episode or Hunter x Hunter chapters. I got 2 more supers to read here. I just saw. From the Senate and Rage. I'll get you in a second. I read the last 2 Hunter x Hunter chapters. I am so fucking excited for the rest of this boat arc. I can't even explain. It feels like it's even more dense and tightly plotted these last few chapters than it was even before this. It feels like the fact that Togashi, he took a year or so break to really sit down, figure this whole shit out. You can tell. Like, you can tell this feels like something that is the level of writing here that's going on in Hunter x Hunter right now. You could not do this week to week. It is not doable week to week. It is just too meticulously thought out, too intricate in terms of what characters are thinking, the nitty-gritty of the micro plot lines that are going in, how many characters are at play, and the fact that everyone is being thought of, no one's being forgotten. Like, everything has a purpose. It's too nitty-gritty. Oh, shit. It's too nitty-gritty. There's too much going on there. You can really tell the amount of planning that's going into this. I'm so fucking excited, because whatever is going to come of this boat arc, it's going to be one of the most, like, it's going to be some of the most in-depth plotting that we'll see from any work ever, right? Because Togashi's just had time to just sit and think and plan and focus exclusively on thinking out the total plot of this arc. I'm really, really excited for this. I'm loving the last couple of chapters. Loving, like, every subplot that is emerging is something intriguing. Except for shit that's at the lower levels of the ship. Right now, I'm going to say I'm still not too interested in a lot of those things, personally. But maybe those will improve as we go on. Ships, King's, the Princess tier, though, phenomenal. 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10. Rage, thanks for the 5. Morj, there's no way Bonnie and Lilith don't link up with Dragon. Even if Bonnie doesn't, definitely Lilith, it makes too much sense. I think Bonnie may or may not, because Bonnie, there's only 2 routes for Bonnie, right? Straw Hats or Revolutionaries. One of the 2. Lilith joining, like, I don't know. I don't know what degree Oda wants to make the Revolutionary Army feel like they're, like what degree, because the Straw Hats could use Lilith. She would just be too valuable for them almost, in that having a Vegapunk level scientist on board invalidates a lot of Frankie and Chopper, and even to some degree of Robin's knowledge, right? So I could see Lilith being shipped off to the Revolutionaries just so that you don't have someone that smart, that knowledgeable, that multi-talented on the ship, right? The Senate, thanks to 2, just got Homegirl to start One Piece. Watch okay, let me watch the episode. And I'm gonna say that too on my end, because my girl's watching One Piece now. I'm being reminded of how slow some of the beginning shit really is. And just the fact that, like, Little Garden has taken, it's been very on and off. And I'm not pushing her to keep watching Little Garden just because it's like, there's not a ton of there's not a ton of excitement episode to episode, and there's always something else we could be watching. But she will get through it bit by bit. JWP, thanks. Oh no, we covered this. All right, guys. It's time. Togashi's overrated. Even if you don't like previous arcs of Hunter x Hunter, this arc is something special. Because there's just so much thought behind it. And I'll say this, there's a lot of mangaka that I think that just being able to shift from weekly to monthly works wonders in terms of skyrocketing their, like, giving them time to plan. Because it's not like Hunter x Hunter is monthly now, but just the fact that he had so long to plan makes it, like, and he didn't have to do this week to week. You could not write the boat arc week to week. It just doesn't work, right? So, for example, Araki, before part 7, was basically just a meme writer. Like, the writing was not the strength of JoJo's. It was just fun fights and designs. Anybody that tells you otherwise is so deeply JoJo's pilled that they've forgotten what other works of fiction actually function like. So JoJo's pre-part 7 was a joke in terms of actual writing. Okay? Part 7 hits, and he switches to monthly, and suddenly he's got more time to write, like, to plan, to actually think of, to think through his themes, think through character arcs, think through start, end points, stuff like that. And suddenly part 7's a much better written story compared to all the previous parts, right? So you can take, I truly believe that there's a shit ton of writers that work for Shonen Jump or whatever, and if they were suddenly just granted, a year to plan, or like allowed to suddenly go monthly or something like that, then suddenly the quality of their writing would skyrocket, right? I think a lot of them are limited by the weekly experience. It's amazing that Oda is able to do what he's able to do just writing week to week like that. I think it's one of the reasons why so many manga start strong and then they taper off after a certain point, because when they're starting strong, it's likely because they've had a lot of time to plan the initial story, right? and then their story gets syndicated and serialized, and serialized, and then they work through the main parts that they already had planned, and then now they're in the weekly grind of like, yeah, they probably had some framework of where their story's going to go afterwards if they stayed in business, but now they've actually got to come up with this shit weekly, week after week, right? I think Oda's the only one that's able to do it so well for such a long period of time, because Oda seems to be one of the few that really planned the majority of the framework of his story from the beginning, right? So even as he's working, and he's just wildly creative and passionate, so he's able to think of just good ideas constantly. But most people are not like that, right? To fill in the gaps. So I don't know. I think Araki's a phenomenal example of like a mediocre storyteller, because he's not a really good storyteller. Like his plots were fucking messy bullshit for the first 6 parts, right? He's a mediocre storyteller, and then you suddenly give him a shit ton more time, and suddenly he's a phenomenal storyteller come part 7, right? I wonder how many other mangaka, if you just gave them that extra amount of time, would suddenly skyrocket in terms of storytelling quality. Then you have someone like Tagashi, who is already a really good storyteller, and now it's like he's got years to really sit down and think of this plot that he's working on right now with the hiatuses, and you can see that evident in his work, just how detailed the story he's telling is. It's not something that anyone could possibly think of week to week without it slowly falling off a cliff. All right. How do I find the fucking One Piece fan letter? Fuck. All right. Hold on. All right. Here we go. All right. Is everyone ready? We're getting to it. All right. No. We're not doing it like this. We're doing it like this. Yeah, that's the good stuff. Yeah. All right. How's desktop audio? Nope, we don't want desktop audio too loud. I can't do desktop audio. It just can't happen. All right. My audio is fine. All right, we're getting into it. Morj told me Fence says, I started watching the stream, then I went outside, smoked a cigarette, cooked dinner, now eating dinner, and you're still not watching the episode? All right, let's get into it. That's a good way to put it. That's as much encouragement as needed. All right, everybody, we're watching this shit. Fuck, it's frozen. What happened? All right. Whoa, wait, whoa. What is all this? Hold on. What is happening here? Okay. For a moment, I thought it was sped up. I knew that there's animation of Marineford that's happening here, but I did not know like this. Oh, there's Luffy. There's our little guy who's got no business being here. She's just a big Nami fan. That's why I kept seeing her in Nami outfits. Damn. Why is this even a debate? Why? I'd heard about the Zoro being in the debate thing. What the? How is Zoro even in this debate? Wouldn't that be like if it was like discussing who the why is Zoro in the debate? It would be like if you were arguing who the best NBA player in the world is, and then so first someone says like LeBron James, right? Oh, it's Dracula Mihawk. Oh, it's like LeBron James. And then they bring up Vista. So that would be like saying like, are you sure it's LeBron James? Maybe it's like Jimmy Butler or some shit. Which is like obviously wrong, but it's not crazy to like at least talk about him, even though it's like he's no argument for being, for being the best player in the world. Like it's not like he's still a good basketball player. You know, you can bring him up. I mean, you would still be considered crazy for bringing Jimmy Butler up for best player, but he's still a good basketball player. Like good enough that like if someone brings him up, it's like, dude, that's no, it's not Jimmy Butler. What the fuck are you talking about, right? And then bringing up Zoro would be like bringing up like LiAngelo Ball or something like that. That's how insane. Because this is pre-time skip, right? This is Marineford. Right? This is 120 million? Is it pre-time skip? It says Apu's bounty is 350 million, so maybe it's not pre-time skip. Oh, no, never mind. Yeah, Kid's bounty is 470 million. Okay, if it's post-time skip, I could see it. Oh, no, they're... Okay, so it's post-time skip, but before the Strats have debuted, right? Thompson says, because they're random civilians, Zoro's in the papers more often. I mean, yeah, LiAngelo Ball is in the papers, but he's not even in the league. Maquette says, LiAngelo is crazy, Mud not even in the league. Yeah, Zoro's not even in the New World at this point in time. They literally think he's dead. The last thing that he did was die, according to them. Which is the NBA equivalent of being shipped off to wherever the fuck LiAngelo had to play, that foreign league. No, seriously, saying pre-time skip Zoro, for any of them to be so drunk to say that pre-time skip Zoro, who cannot defeat a single pacifista by himself, right? Cannot beat a single pacifista solo. Say that he is the world's strongest swordsman. It is the equivalent of saying LiAngelo Ball is the world's strongest swordsman, right? It would be the same thing as that, right? Because it's not even like it's not even in the same, literally not even in the same league as NBA players. He's not in the same league as Mista, Vihawk, etc., right? He doesn't exist in the New World with them. He's not strong enough to be in that league. So LiAngelo Ball is a good equivalent, right? Or it would be like referencing some high school player, like some hyped up high school player, right? But not like a Cooper Flag, because some people say Cooper Flag could be NBA level already. Pre-time skip Zoro was not New World level already, right? So some freshman in high school, right? Tom says, Morj, they aren't reading the damn manga. They don't know every character's actions bar for bar. But, like, that's the point, right? Like, that's what makes it even worse. Because from what little if they know of Zoro, the only thing that they know about him is that he's a pirate with, like, 100 million berry bounty barely. And then, like, compare that to all the characters in the New World with, like, crazy high billion berry bounties. God knows whatever the fuck Mihawk has. Who just fought in this war against Whitebeard or whatever. Zoro hasn't done jack shit. Why would he even be brought up? It would be like, it's even worse. Because, like, for us, if we're reading the manga, then it's like, you know what? Some people were crazy enough to say post-time skip, like, hey, Zoro's been training with Mihawk. Maybe he's not that far off from Mihawk, you know? That's actually based in some, like, grounded in some reality. These guys, they just like, well, there's this random pirate who has, like, barely 100 million berry bounty. We think he's dead because he has not been seen or heard of for the last 2 years. And that's it. That's all the information we have. Maybe he's the world's strongest swordsman. You know how insane that is? Zoro is closer. Like, the Zoro that was pre-time skip, right? Pre-time skip Zoro, which is where they left off. He is closer to Kabaji than he is to Mihawk, right? Without a doubt. He's closer to Kabaji than he is to Mihawk. So it is not insane for me to be saying LiAngelo Ball. All right? He's literally closer to Kabaji than he was to Mihawk at that point in time. Pre-time skip Zoro, which is the last information these people had of him. And then they thought he died. So not only are they guessing that he's alive, but they're guessing that he's for some reason the world's strongest swordsman now. All right, continuing on. Monty shipwright special issue on Frankie. Hmm. What? That's funny. Oh, shit. Oh, I like this. I like this. That's funny. What the fuck? Oh. What the fuck? What? No. What? What the fuck is this? No. What the fuck is this? Alright, this guy's my new favorite Marine. Was that a... Oh, for a moment I thought it was a celestial dragon. Okay. That would have been wild. Hey, what the fuck? Fuck that guy. What the fuck? Oh shit! Oh shit! What? Did she not recognize Usopp? Oh my god. I don't think I've ever been so happy to see Usopp. That's so sweet. Oh, whatever. That was funny. I did see that. I saw this already on Twitter. This doesn't even make sense though. They're throwing. They're talking about bounty. Why is Zoro even in the conversation if the only thing they have to go on is bounty? It doesn't make any fucking sense. His bounty is like a fucking. It's fucking 100 million berry. It's like lower than fucking Carabo's. What the fuck? Although that pause was really, the sudden pause is really fucking funny. Oh, works out for, what's this girl's name? Do we know this girl's name? Have I missed it? I fucking forgot. What the fuck? Yeah. That little brother's a jerk. I like how his internal monologue is literally like, I don't like my brother. It's so straightforward. I don't like my brother. What the fuck? Oh, the fuck? That's gotta be embarrassing. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh my god. Oh, that's oars. Holy shit. Yeah, the anime did not show Marineford like this. Uh Holy shit. No. Oh shit. He heard that. Oh my god. Yeah. What the hell? Oh my god. I really like that storyline they wove in with the two brothers. That was really well done. That's like a Nami-esque reaction. I like that this girl's a Nami fan. Because, like, you just wouldn't expect Nami to be like. She's not the most famous of the crew. Is that she's supposed to be Nami? He's not gonna take out Chopper. It's not happening. What's that guy's name? I missed it. Oh my. Oh shit. It's really gonna be in this? Hmm. How that was gonna work. She's 15? Oh, Usopp's fucking, are those bugs from Usopp's island? They're both Straw Hat fans. Hmm? Hmm. I like that this episode is heavily emphasizing the significance of Nami. I'm curious to see what scene she'll get in this episode because the other Strats are getting little scenes. Hmm. Hmm. This episode's just fucking great. I'm definitely gonna rewatch this at some point. Hmm. There's Perona's ghost up there. Oh shit. Poor guy. I'm sorry that I move with the ladder so slowly. Fuck this random marine. What the fuck? Yeah. It's that guy sucks. Huh. Makes sense. Nami'll be okay. This dude. Yeah. Good on that guy. No. No. I'm gonna watch the credits. Sorry. I like these scenes. I wish that guy had gotten to see Chopper. Okay, these are actual scenes. Oof. Oh, and this is this hyping up the new remastered version? Right. Um so that was like really, really, really fucking good. That was really fucking good. I'm still also what the fuck? He saw him in the distance. He had hard eyes. Yeah, but I guess more. I don't know. Oh man. I feel like that was just phenomenal. Let's get the stream likes up to 300 real quick because that was phenomenal. I know I got some supers to catch up on. Man, that felt fucking good. Okay, the little girl story was amazing. I low-key like the brothers at Marineford. Like, when the older brother was turning to run and then he heard Luffy, just weaving that into their storyline was so good. And it made me feel all of the things I felt again with Marineford, with Luffy telling Ace that, like, yelling to Ace that he's gonna come save him. Her storyline of that was really good as well. The puzzle, the recurring puzzle visual, all of the pieces falling, putting them back. That was so well done, it's insane. That was really, 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 really beautiful. I don't even know what to say about that. That was like canon, not canon. It doesn't matter, right? Doesn't matter? Guma Boom says none of the characters have names intentionally. I think it does work well like that. Because it's meant to, it feels more immersive. Not immersive. It just feels more like just the natural. It feels like the character is the One Piece world, right? The natural individuals that exist in the One Piece world that make it a vibrant, living, breathing world, right? Like it's a fan letter. There's just a random girl who is a Nami fan, right? These are random Marines. They don't have to have any other sort of extended story. But this was a look into the types of storylines that existed and came about in Marineford in, if you put everything under a microscope, right? Because every Marine was having their own story and their own experiences, and those events shaped everybody differently, right? Random bar where they're just having debates about who's the strongest, like it's a sports team, like it's, like it's athletes, like stuff like that, right? That was really, really well done. And obviously the animation was just beautiful. Like in the first 30 seconds, just showing everything from Marineford with that sort of chaos was fucking awesome, because like that's how it would feel in real time. Like if you made One Piece feel a little more realistic in terms of the pacing of the action, right? Because it's not like the way we get in the anime, everything is like very slow. Like characters take a long time to talk and then things are broken up. But like in real time, everything's probably, characters are moving so fast and things are happening so quickly. That was just fucking amazing. Let me catch up on supers real quick. Caleb Cool Guy, thanks so much for being a Yonko tier member for 18 months. I've been planning my own shonen-esque comic for the past couple years. Would a monthly schedule maintain reader attention the same way weekly does? I'm gonna be honest, man. I'm gonna be really honest. I don't know with if you're trying to do a shonen manga, does it work in like, does America have outlets for that sort of thing, like weekly versus monthly? Would it have to be serialized in an Eastern nation? I don't know. I do think that weekly is one of those things that keeps people's attention, because monthly it has to be so good to keep people coming back month after month, right? But best of luck to you. I think shooting for weekly is the best you can do, and just plan out as much of it as possible so that you know that you're not going to be scrapping to come up with new bullshit every week on the fly once you run out of ideas. Lucky Man, thanks for being a Pirate King tier member for 13 months. Morj, the anime is for Japanese children. Of course, some children are going to say Zoro is the strongest. The anime is speaking to them. Don't taint them with power scaling. Okay, I'm sorry for tainting them. I'm just saying, like, in the context of the One Piece world, like, this doesn't really make sense. I didn't realize that the bar people are supposed to be standing for Japanese children, but, it's... Okay, I'll leave that alone. The bar scene is the bar scene. I just think it's funny when you put it in, when you really think about what they're saying. English 1D1, thanks for the 10. Back after 8 weeks vacation in Vietnam/Japan. Holy shit, that's awesome. That you really got a tour of... you really got a tour of East Asia right there. Morj arguing with chat as is tradition. Yeah, you just got to do it. Zoro just popped up, got a huge bounty, and then disappeared, so they're just drunk and talking shit, LMAO. Yeah, but it just doesn't even make sense. It would be like, again, the equivalent would be like some random high school player pops up, and it's like, oh, this guy's like a top recruit or something like that for college, and then he goes off the radar for 2 years because of injury or something, and then it's like, could this high school kid be the best player in the world? Nobody does that. That's not a thing. Like, even if you convert it to real world context, it makes no sense, Mavahed Sadegi, thanks for the 5. Upon using magnifying glasses, I saw your mustache. Is it a Borat cosplay, Honey Morj? You already clarified it's not Mary. Also, guys like the stream. No, I'm Gomez Adams. The mustache is not here to stay. It's going to be gone after this next weekend, Halloween weekend. So don't you worry about this mustache. It'll be gone soon. But I appreciate you saying that you're able to see the mustache. That's nice. And yeah, like the stream. Everybody like the stream. I agree. Let's get it to 350 real quick because the episode was really good. Goomba Boomba, thanks for the 2. None of the characters have names intentionally. Okay, we covered this already. But yeah, I think that was a really, really good choice. Bar scene is meta. Yeah, it is meta. Although I think I guess maybe Japanese children could potentially think that Zoro post time skip is the strongest. JWP, thanks for the 5. All the scenes at Marineford were actually amazing. The One Piece anime goes on hiatus, so they just remaster an arc. Being a One Piece fan right now is crazy. Yeah. This is just... I don't know. This is by far the best time ever to be a One Piece fan. By far the best time ever because... Okay. It's actually insane to think about how much content One Piece fans are getting at this moment in time, right? Because... we've already got the manga, right? Still best-selling manga. Shonen Jump's poster boy, right? There's no more, like, 1-3's been in that era of, like, no big 3, it's just big me for some time, right? Like, it's past the era where it's it has no competition anymore for its status, right? Like, other manga might outsell it here and there for a year or two or whatever, but, like, One Piece is... it's the king, right? It's the undisputed king overall in terms of Shonen Jump. It's just been that way for a while. All of its rivals have died, right? It's just the king of manga, unconditionally, unquestionably, right? Then at the same time, it's got an anime that, let's be real, the anime has stepped up its quality a lot, right, in recent years. Like, a lot in recent years, to the point that there are One Piece anime clips that people genuinely argue are, like, the best... in contention for the best anime episodes out there, competing with seasonal anime, right? People talk about that. People talk about that in Wano. People have been talking about that with Egghead. There's genuine discussions to be had. So the One Piece anime, at least in its moments, is the best that it's ever been, right? In its moments, right? Setting aside pacing issues, right? But then, at the same time, One Piece is getting two anime remakes essentially happening to make it more digestible, right? So it's getting this remaster of all the post-time skip arcs, and it's getting a new anime for everything from the beginning of the story. So it's got an anime rolling that's already the best it's ever been, arguably. It's getting previous anime episodes remastered, right? And it's getting a whole new anime at the same time. That's 3 anime. That's 3 versions of the anime, all at the same time, right? Old school, remastered, new wit studio, right? And then the current anime that's already running, it's going potentially seasonal, maybe, fingers crossed, so that's happening. And then finally, it's got the most popular anime live-action adaptation ever in existence running right now. So wildly popular that like 2 more seasons have been ordered for it. It's #1 Netflix streaming, like breaking so many records or whatever. Like, it's actually insane to think how successful One Piece is at this moment in time. Like, it's like there's no real point of comparison anymore, right? It's just this is just a golden, like, platinum era, whatever you want to say, for One Piece, right? It's just so many. If you stack up everything that's going on, like, it's just fucking mind-blowing to think of, like, where One Piece is as a franchise. Because I go back to when One Piece was something that I was a fan of, like, 6th grade, 7th grade, early high school. It was not a thing that anyone had heard of. It was just not a thing that anyone had heard of, right? I would go to, like, mangareader.net. Naruto and Bleach were the most popular ones, and there were some weeks that, like, Fairy Tail was more popular than One Piece. So it was like Naruto, Bleach, Fairy Tail were the top things being shown at the top of the site, right? Like, One Piece was part of the big, like, One Piece's claim to fame at that point in time was being part of the big 3, at least in the West. Like, at least in the West. I know in Japan it was already the most popular, but at least in the West it was like, okay, it's up there with Naruto, Bleach, as being the most popular anime in the West. And anime itself is like a very niche genre in the West. Most people really only know Dragon Ball and Naruto, but One Piece falls into that same category. So One Piece is up there with those guys. That's it. It was so rare for me to ever find somebody that knew what One Piece was, period. For, like, the first 10 years of my being a One Piece fan. And the anime that we had was worse than what Bleach's action, like, and I would compare fight scenes generally, right? So the anime that we had was fine, but the fight scenes were objectively worse than, you know, like a Bleach or a Naruto, right? It was just worse. So, you know, I was just happy about the series. I wish, like, more people knew about it, whatever. It's such a far cry from, like, today. Let me think. So, 12, I guess across, like, 15 or so, 16 years, right? I've seen One Piece grow from, because initially I was into it in elementary school and then took a break from it. I don't count elementary school. Middle school is when I got back into it, 6th grade. And that's when I started following manga and anime in general. So, it's 11 years old then, right? I'm about to be 29 now. So really through 18 years. Like, 18 years, I've watched One Piece grow into what it is right now. Like, it's just insane, the Goliath that it's become, and how many different, just how many different, like, different forms of media it's sort of taken over and is existing in and succeeding in at the moment. Continuing on, JWP, thanks for the 5. All of the scenes at Marineford. No, we covered this. Lars Caesar, thanks a lot. It really just did feel good. Fodder doesn't exist. Yeah, fodder, like the fodder, the Marines that we talk about, they all have their own stories too, if you really think about it. Esteban Biar says Luffy versus Lucci hit hard though. Yes. Luffy versus Lucci is kind of, if people remember back then, it was kind of the anime fight that put One Piece not on the map, but, like, One Piece did have a bit of reputation among the big 3 as being more kiddie, which is ironic because One Piece was in fact the most mature writing-wise out of the big 3. But it had a reputation for not having really good fights and being a little bit more kiddie or whatever. Luffy versus Lucci was the first fight that really put One Piece, like, that made people, like, tune in. Because, like, whenever an anime has a really big fight, it draws in more people. Because if you remember back then, like, on YouTube, like, some of the more popular videos were, like, top 10 anime fights of, like, this year, that year, like 2007, 2008 or whatever, right? Like, those were videos that were very popular. So finally One Piece started being featured in those sort of videos as of the Enies Lobby arc, with Luffy versus Lucci being, like, a big deal. Yeah. Nasir Gewas is like seeing your child grow. It's actually insane to think that, like, I've been a One Piece fan for 18 years, and then if you want to take it all the way back to, like, third, fourth grade when I really started watching, I watched it initially after school when I was in 3rd grade, I believe. It was 3rd or 4th grade. I want to say 3rd grade. That was when I initially would watch it. And then I just like I didn't really know what it was. I didn't know the whole concept of anime. So then I stopped after a year or two or whatever, a couple years. I stopped around the time the Arlong like East Blue wrapped or whatever. This was 4Kids. Just because it's just a random TV show that would be on, right? So I missed that time slot, so just forgot about it. Then at some point in 6th grade, I just remembered, oh yeah, what was that weird show? Like that was that cool show, One Piece. Okay, let me try finding episodes of that online. And then that was when I really found out about what anime was, right? Because in 3rd grade, I was just watching it whenever like it happened to be on. But if we were to count by 3rd grade, then like 8 years old, I'm 28 now, so 20 years. I've been a One Piece fan for 20 years. Yeah. Oh, I missed a short scene after credits, but before Remaster promo BTW? I don't think I did. I thought I watched it. I saw this. Oh, I'm not screen sharing, am I? Hold on. I'm skimming back through it. I saw this stuff. Yeah, I saw it. Yeah. Yeah, don't worry, I haven't missed anything. Alright. Oh, Esteban is saying first anime. Okay, like, it depends. If people say... Do you guys count Pokemon as an anime? I don't count it as a true anime. It's just not... It is an anime, but it's just not done like an anime. You know what I mean? Like, it feels... Like, any given Pokemon episode... The simple difference is that Pokemon episodes are produced in a way that mirror the same episodic format as other kids' TV shows. The only thing that's distinct about Pokemon is the animation style, but everything else about it feels very Western in terms of it's episode to episode, very episode like they would have story arcs and stuff, but like generally speaking, it would be like Yu-Gi-Oh is the counterpoint comparison that feels like it's similar to Pokemon. They get into duels, like Pokemon battles, etc. But Yu-Gi-Oh was anime, right? Very overdramatic, long monologues between characters, and a single duel, the pacing was slow. It would play out over multiple episodes with like the tension and stakes and characters sweating and reaction shots and stuff like really ramping. And so like you would start a duel and it would end with a cliffhanger, and then that duel continues the whole next episode and it still doesn't conclude, and then it continues on in the next episode and still doesn't conclude. Pokemon was more like it just felt like usually they come across like some noodle town or like friend or something like that, and then there's some noodle problem like, oh, my fucking Togepi got lost and other Togepis don't like it or something, and then by the end of the episode they beat Team Rocket goes blasting off again, and then there's like, here Togepi, be friends with this fucking, I don't know, Ivysaur or some shit, and it's like, it works out, right? That's a Pokemon plot, right? It's similar to what you would see in like a Ben 10 episode or like a Teen Titans episode, you know? But I don't count Pokemon as... I mean, it is anime. It is anime. Virgil Hawkins with a good point. Pokemon counts, but I think the answer to first anime should be the first series you knew was anime. I think anybody who's watching Dragon Ball and comparing it to Pokemon, you know something is very, very, very different about Dragon Ball Z compared to American cartoons. You can just tell it. Even if you don't know the term anime, you can tell. You can watch Pokemon and not have any idea that it's a fucking Japanese show, ever, right? You're watching Dragon Ball Z, you're like, this is something different. Maybe you don't know it's Japanese, but you feel like, I remember like watching Dragon Ball Z, it almost felt like fuck, is it like, this feels like adult, like this feels like fucking shit that teenagers or something should be watching, like not little kids like myself, and like, Dragon Ball Z just felt so fucking like next level, serious, dramatic. There was nothing like Dragon Ball Z when you're a kid, nothing at all. Pokemon, it's just like, it's cool. Like everybody loved Pokemon, but it's so like, I love Pokemon a lot. Like I love the show a lot. I love the Pokemon show a lot. Loved it. Okay, I love the Pokemon movies. Favorite Pokemon movie is the third one, Entei. I loved Pokemon growing up, but I never felt like it was like fundamentally something totally different than the other shows I was watching at the time. I think Dragon Ball Z was like the first anime. Yu-Gi-Oh! I could tell was pretty different as well. And then One Piece I knew was like different. Kiara, thank you very much for the 20. Holy shit. Thank you. This kind of makes me hopeful that when One Piece ends, there's a possibility that good side stories for One Piece could be good, and we can see different perspectives of the world. Hiding at work, watching your stream, lol. Okay, well, I hope you don't get caught at work. I appreciate that. Yeah, I think post One Piece, like, my hope is that. So, like, you know how, like, Naruto continued with Boruto? I hope we never get anything like that, because the way One Piece is written, it's all convergence, right? So many things are set up, and then the further we go in the story, we realize that everything is written to connect at one final singularity, right? Like, all of the things we're learning about Will of D, Void Century, World Government, the conflict between pirates, all of that stuff, it's all set like ancient weapons. It's all building towards one final point, right? So once you have the story conclude and wrap up like that, you can't just bullshit out another story. Like, it just doesn't work, because all of the previous setup, like over thousands of chapters, was so meticulously done to finally come together and tie everything together with a bow. You can't just be like, oh, well, now there's, I don't know, some other bullshit that we have to, unless you go out to space, but then even going out to space, you gotta, like, you kind of got to leave most of the One Piece world behind and be like, okay, well, now this is a new story that happens to be pulling some One Piece characters, but, like, you got to change the setting drastically. The One Piece setting has been so saturated. Every character's story has come to a close. Every bit of lore has come to a close. It's all wrapping up, right? So you can't just make up something like a new Luffy or a new, like, protege or something like that down the line, because there's no setup for it, right? That's why Boruto in the first place, trying to pull the moon shit, it's stupid. It doesn't make sense. But the One Piece world having side stories and, like, smaller cutesy things, like maybe covering somebody else that could be trained who wants to become the next world's strongest swordsman or something like that, that could work. Or, like, covering Bonnie's adventures as she grows up or something. Like, smaller, yeah, like, just showing smaller parts of the world, I do agree, that can be good post One Piece. Maybe in the wake of the One Piece being discovered and everything like that, but definitely not like any sort of actual sequel to the story, because One Piece is just not a story that a sequel would ever make sense. Okay, thank you, Kiara, very much for the 5 gifted memberships. Thanks a lot. I really, really, really appreciate it. Seriously, always really, really, really appreciated when people gift, and the good people of chat, you just got to say thanks to Kiara. Yeah, shouts in the chat for Kiara. Manny, say thanks. Bugas, say thanks. Jack D Slime, say thanks. Lee J Animation, say thanks. Eat Deer, say thanks. Thank you very, very much. Much appreciated. And from the people in chat. I hope Oda takes the space route. This is Spoon Welsh. I think that's the only way that it could possibly be done. And once you're doing the space route, it's, like, very loosely a One Piece sequel, right? Because then you're going out into space. And so you're leaving behind the setting, the world. You can do all sorts of new shit. But I don't think Oda's going to do that. Right? I think Oda will probably want to retire, finally get to live life with his family, his wife, his kids, you know? Dragon Ball was a series that was always, like, very arc to arc, like, random new bullshit. So Dragon Ball can just continue on forever. There's no real limit, right? Like, they introduced new universes, you know? Jolly D Joestar, thanks for the 2, and I think an anthology series is best for One Piece future. Yeah, something like that could work. I do think one tricky thing with One Piece is that, as with most shonen, once it ends, future things that happen, it's hard to do them without increasing, this might sound silly, but without increasing the power scale, okay? Because you need people to get hooked, and the reality is, like, if we were to follow up, like, some sequel little short story for One Piece or something, and then the characters involved are, like, I don't know, like, Fishman Island Luffy level defeating, like, some, like, it's just not, like, a lot of what gets us hyped for individual One Piece arcs, like, someone like Loki gets introduced, right? That's exciting, right? That's an infusion of excitement, right? Like, obviously the character writing and storytelling is very important, right? But at the end of the day, it's a shonen, right? So I feel like if we get all the way to a certain level in One Piece where, like, characters are gods and doing all this sort of crazy shit, right? And then we get a little sequel series, it could be hard to grip people or hook people without promising some crazy strong characters in action and stuff like that. I don't know. Power says that's for all battle manga. Stakes and powers have to increase by nature. JoJo's avoids that. I think JoJo's avoids that. Interestingly, because you could argue that like there's not really a change in terms of power level of stands in a significant way as time goes on. I think the upper end of like the craziest villain stands does, but that's like the majority of an arc. It's just pretty flexible, you know. I think JoJo's is the one exception, and that's why it works so well as an anthology series, because it was planned to be like that from the beginning. I guess that was the intent. But anything else, you kind of need to up it. You know, like you can't have a Dragon Ball sequel series and it's like, okay, well now we're back to like Piccolo level power levels or something like that. You know, like Piccolo from Dragon Ball 1, like original. You know. Bassam El Madawi, thanks for the 5. If they want to keep the same feeling, they should skip ahead at minimum 100 years so we can have new mysteries, basically reset the status quo. I don't know. But then the tricky thing is like then you have no former like characters to work with. Right, so it would almost be too much of a departure. So at that point, why not skip ahead 1,000 episodes or years or something, you know? Ooh, thanks for the 5. One Piece should just be allowed to be over when it's done. No need to ruin the magic it has by making it turn into a Star Wars or Harry Potter. In my opinion, that is 100% correct. Although Harry Potter, I'm just gonna say it, I enjoy the Fantastic Beasts movies quite a bit. I think they're fucking fun. And I think it's like going the prequel route is fun. But Star Wars, I personally am not a Star Wars. I think the story told itself very neatly with the first 3 movies. I think the prequels could have worked if they were better executed or done. But after that, there's nothing necessary. Like, not a single iota of Star Wars canon has been necessary after that. Like, honestly, the first original trilogy told the story well enough. It told a story, right? It has a full narrative arc. Every loose end is wrapped up. There's nothing more to be told there, right? I hope that, like, I don't think Oda will go that route, you know? I also think that, I don't know, Oda's just going to be making so much money post One Piece, because, like, would he ever have a need to keep doing it? I don't know. Money's a strong incentive, though. People, like, it's just a strong incentive, you know? It just is. And people are like, well, this person's made enough money. Why would he need to do X, Y, or Z? As you make more money, right? It's the hedonic treadmill, right? As you make more money, you get used to the amount of money you make. And so then you just keep looking up, right? It's rare that somebody just thinks like, you know what? I've just got enough luxury. There's not anything more that I would want, right? That doesn't happen that often. It happens to the average person. Like the average person is usually not aware of the amount of luxury that they already have, right? So why did the Naruto author write Boruto? I don't think it's because he was lacking money, and I also don't feel like it was because he was like so desperately wanting to get this Boruto story out, because initially it wasn't even like fully written by him or something, right? Like it was kind of vaguely canonized by him, but not personally written, right? So money is just like a strong incentive for anybody. Like the Naruto author is rich as fuck, right? Naruto is always more successful internationally than One Piece was, right? So I don't know. It's tricky. Like, what if Shonen Jump gives him a huge-ass contract to keep writing a new series after One Piece? I don't know, man. Muketis' Chainsaw Man analysis reference? Yeah, a little bit. I was thinking about Chainsaw Man earlier. Says soul greater than money, bro. Let's end things on a perfect note instead of decaying money just for profit. Hey, I hope Oda does that. I believe that Oda will do that. I think he's got a lot of I don't know. I think he really, really does value that a lot, like the sanctity of his story. But yeah, I guess we'll just, we'll wait and see, right? I do think that the fact that One Piece could continue growing in popularity post One Piece manga's end without Oda having to do anything could be enough for him to feel good, because the live action, the Wit Studio remake, those will keep going even after One Piece ends, most likely. So could still keep going. Jolly D. Joestar, thanks for the 5. I meant something like one episode is a Nolan story, the other episode is Zoro's child story, etc. Like short stories other people can work on with Oda monitoring. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Like actual character-based stories. Yeah, that could be fun. That could be a lot of fun. If it's more character-focused, I think that could be really, really good. Because fleshing out little aspects of the One Piece world that we would love to see more of, that's perfect. Because the One Piece world is so rich and has so much going on that that's the biggest thing that like fans actually already ask for, you know. Evan Rose says, would it work like that? Isn't Shonen Jump contracting Oda, not him as an employee? I don't know the details of how that works, but like, you know, if they're like, here's $1 billion if you write us a sequel, obviously that's out of their price range or whatever, right? But you know what I mean, like some crazy deal. Here's $100 million to write a sequel to One Piece. I don't know. Jack says, is Oda making money off of the live action? Oda most likely makes money off of like anything that's One Piece IP, you know? It'd be insane if Oda's somehow not... Oda's just working out the live action for free, man. He's just in it for love of the game. All right, guys. I'm probably going to wrap stream in the next 5 minutes. 5 minutes or so. I would love to get more stories from Roger's time. I think that'd be fun. Rage, thanks for the 10. Hey, Morj, I'm a novel writer / manga writer in the making, and I heard you talk about your stories before, or was it film? I was wondering what type of stories you like to write. So, my ideal that I would like to get out is some film stories, like stories that are, you know, screenplays, things that would be best adapted to film, right? And I have a few in mind at varying budget levels of what I could potentially do. So my dream is still to save enough that I can do a film to begin with at like an indie budget level. And hopefully if that does well, then maybe I can fund a higher budget film. And I have, again, like a few different stories in mind that would work for varying budget levels. So I have like a bare minimum one that I think could work. And then I have more ambitious ones that hopefully one day I'll be able to do. But I also feel like if I were to... I've thought about, because like I have friends who are into writing books, novels, stuff like that. I have thought about like, you know, if a film is too far off, too far away, then maybe I could try my hand at like doing something that I've never done before and maybe learn to actually just write, you know, straight up like a book or like a novel or something like that. Because I have a lot of short stories that I would love to be able to put into novel format. But that's something that would be a huge time commitment. So I have to think about, you know, just if I have the creative bug so bad that I can't wait long enough to save up to attempt an indie movie or something like that, do I just try my hand at writing short stories or something like that first? I don't know. So I'll see. So the long story short is basically film is the main goal. But, you know, if that starts to feel further and further away, then I might try my hand at something that is just more accessible, like trying to write a book or something like that. I know that industry is obviously very, very competitive and like 1 million people write a book a year, you know. But it doesn't hurt to try, right? So that's my thought process around that at the moment. Henchme976 says, you should write poor novels. That's true art. Evan Rose says the best day to start is now. Start building up work and see where it takes you. That's a good point. I shouldn't be so hesitant or keep putting off till later. It's a good point. Chris Morales says manga would be cool. You write the story and find an artist who can draw. So I think that's one of the biggest things that like I see people lament that kind of, that Japan has this culture where comics, right, manga, are essentially on a pedestal where like you can really break out and have something very successful and famous as a story if you conceive of like a manga, right? You can be good at writing, maybe you can work with an artist or something like that, right? Like a tandem duo if you can't draw that well yourself. But like that is a dream that seems very accessible for people in Japan. If they can draw and write a story together, then they have a shot at getting serialized in something like Shonen Jump or something. Like obviously that's a lofty dream, but it seems doable for a lot of people, right? That's a platform that people can get into. That's not a thing in America, right? Comics exist. Comics are not popular. Comics are very, very, very niche. Even comics that get popular by American standards, like Bone, like that's a comic series that I own that I really liked growing up. That's not known to the common person, right? It's not like fucking Naruto in Japan or One Piece in Japan, where these things like are cultural icons, right? A popular Western comic is just going to be, that's it. Like it's going to be popular among people who dabble in graphic novels, right? There's not a culture built around it. The exceptions are superhero comics, and that would be that's totally different in that you're trying to get into a genre where everything already exists. It's pre-existing, right? Like Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, yada, yada, yada. Some exceptions that happen are things like Invincible. And you're like, well, what about Invincible? And it's like, yeah, Invincible succeeded not because it was a popular comic. I mean, it was a popular comic by comic standards, but it was the adaptation that really popularized it in the culture, right? Like, so it's reliant on animation or something like The Boys getting animated to live action TV. Comics themselves are not ever going to be mainstream in American culture the way that manga on their own can be mainstream and well known and recognized in Japanese culture, right? So you have to ultimately make some comic in America that you hope gets popular enough among like comic fans and in the industry that at some point some TV studio that's looking for something to adapt, like anything to adapt or whatever, catches it and finds it and like decides to adapt it, right? That sucks. And it's a damn shame because the medium of like, you know, the medium of comics, of manga, of like being able to write and draw and have like moving pictures, like, or not moving pictures, but like picture by picture, dialogue by dialogue, that sort of storytelling, a combination of writing and visuals, writing and artwork. That's a beautiful format for storytelling. Like, it's a perfect format for storytelling. It's the perfect in between like just text, like pure text, like books and stuff, and then going all the way to like fully highly produced animation studios or like live action film productions that cost millions of dollars or whatever, right? It's the visual medium that it's the visual medium for storytelling that the common person can individually do, right? It's a damn shame that that's not as popular in the United States. Rage, thanks for the 2. Need a stream about this? Not gonna lie, lol. I mean, this is the stream about this. It's just the way it is. Yeah, Evan Rose says, I agree. America has stigma of comics and distribution is really insular, but think of the difference in manga 10 years ago and now. At some point, you have to build a market you want to sell in. I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's certain things that can happen that can cause a revolution in the comics industry. I just think that, like, it's a shame that things that do get popular graphic novel-wise here, it's like Watchmen, right? Watchmen is phenomenal. Amazingly written. Like, I was mind-blown fucking reading Watchmen because it changed my mind as to the level of depth and intricacy. Like, I think Watchmen is the pinnacle of what you can do from my limited reading, like, graphic novel reading experience. Watchmen feels like the artistic pinnacle of what you can actually do with this medium because it utilizes that medium in ways that I've never seen before. Like, even in manga, I don't really see the creativity of, like, what they put together with Watchmen, okay? That's not to say Watchmen is better than every manga or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, how the medium is used, you should read Watchmen, right? I'm sure there are other graphic novels that are just as good, if not better, that I haven't discovered yet, okay? Because graphic novels don't have a culture in America. The reason Watchmen got popular is because it's superhero-based. Superhero-based, dark superhero shit, that can still take off. Invincible, it's superhero-based, right? The Boys, superhero-based, right? Shit like Bone is fucking rare. Like, it's hard to just tell something, like, America, at this moment in time, like, it's... Now, in general... Like, it's just, like, it's so locked into, like, superhero stuff being the one publicly somewhat acceptable genre of, like, this popular fantasy stuff. Like, you can't do... I mean, like, yeah, there's, like young adult novels like Harry Potter or, like, shit like that. Or, like, Percy Jackson. Those things can take off as well. But by and large, it feels like superhero shit. That's been the thing that in all mediums, like, it's allowed to succeed in American culture. Which just feels so limiting compared to... you know, the way anime and manga do it, you know? All right, everybody. Virgil Hawkins says it needs to start with more non-superhero comics getting attention. Yeah. Yep. All right, everybody. Chris Morales says there's international manga contests where you can win your work being serialized. The thing is, I know about, I've heard about those. Can anybody clarify? What manga have actually won those and then been serialized in like Shonen Jump and stuff? Because I don't think I've heard of that. Ray Chia says my favorite graphic novel is Scott Pilgrim. Here's the thing: I know Scott Pilgrim is a popular graphic novel, but the reason that most people know about Scott Pilgrim is because it then became a popular or at least cult classic type movie, right? Cyberpunk Edge Runners, is that a manga that won? Oh, is Dr. Stone one that was that won an international manga contest and then got serialized? Is that right? Holy shit, I did not know that. That is insane if that's the case. That's really interesting. That's really, really interesting. That's actually huge. That actually gives me hope. That's interesting. The writers from Korea, well, that's like right next door. Is there any hope for some like random American dude to be able to break through into Japanese comics, into manga? I wonder. Can anyone tell me, is there any hope of like a random American Western comic submission succeeding and getting serialized in Shonen Jump or something like that? Let me look that up right now. I'm gonna call a stream after this little research project. Is Radiant's author? Radiant. See, before I left Baltimore, I had a friend who I found out was not into manga, but he read this series called Radiant, and he gave me a copy of it. And I never touched it, and I don't think I brought it here with me. So I have the first volume of Radiant, but I never did anything more with it. Radiant series. Radiant is a French comic book series. But it says it has been licensed by Viz Media in English. But it doesn't sound like that person won a comic contest to get it into Viz. It sounds like it was already being written and illustrated somewhere. And then it started getting published by Viz in 2018. So I don't know about that. Shonen Jump's Manga Plus has been forward thinking since starting near COVID. All right. So maybe there's some hope. So there is hope. Don't give up hope. But that's something interesting to look into for sure. All right, everybody. We are going to call it here. Thank you very, very much for tuning in. Thank you for people who suggested that I watch the One Piece fan letter, because I wasn't sure if that was something that made sense for me to watch or not. But I'm really happy I did. Definitely lived up to expectations. Definitely something that I'm going to rewatch at some point down the line just for fun on my own time. So yeah, that was fucking phenomenal. Thank you for everybody who tuned in. Thank you for the support, obviously. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks a lot. Oh, also last thing is, as you saw, Obed joined in the stream. Anybody who purchases one of the bundles can join stream at any point that they like, as long as there's a stream scheduled that day. So you can book a slot. So if you're interested in that, just hit the link in the description or hit the link pinned above. See if you are interested in purchasing some of the travel posters. With your bundle, you get a lot of other perks. One of the perks is joining the stream. So I will talk to you all later. And yeah, that's it for now.